Hey, what up? Welcome back to Team Fortress TV 2 this time around. We are here with another season and some more games as well. It's the last resort TLR against Garda Panteri, fighting out 4 more Premiership summer action this time around. I'm here with Beat Production and with Cerny on the mic.
Hello. How's it going? I'm looking forward to this game, man. I'm excited. The last resort TLR, a name that has not graced TF2 in what? How long has it been? 7 years? Something like that?
It's been in the season 20s at that point, yeah?
Yeah, it's certainly been quite a while. It's been almost a decade. Just getting revived out of nowhere, and for some unfortunate circumstances, Flick ends up on that team, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. I guess we could just talk about the rosters. Yeah, we're going to just talk about the rosters real quick. Considering it is the start of the season, you run over these. These are always subject to change. Don't be alarmed. It says Banny on there, but that's not actually true. We're only showing Banny on this statistic because he's the only one we got stats for.
That Corey isn't basically just as good
Corey, unfortunately, is not Banny. We don't know how good he is, but we don't have stats for him, unfortunately. He's going to be alongside Flick, though, on the scout rolls.
We've been through this earlier. Corey is number one in the long lineage of Finnish scouts, so how bad could it really be?
Yeah, I mean,
been around in the
scouts
for a while, so the talent is there for sure.
You know how Finnish scouts be. But yeah, you got Matthews and Ryan on the soldiers, Zams on the demo, and Patchouli rounding it out on the medic as well. I mean, a roster full of talented players on this team. Yeah. Certainly, they have not been together in this configuration for long, though. That's the caveat with this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Zams also arguably moving up. I guess he did play technically some Prem-ish games at LAN before with Flick as well. So probably that's where some of the confidence comes from, picking that guy out. He did well in Division 1 before, so it's not like he's coming out of the field either on that part. So a couple of new pieces here, once again, thrown alongside what Flick wants to have on this roster. With the British Soldier do as well. Map is obviously on and about the scene for a while, of course. Ryan made his debut last season. Did do pretty well in the individual games, even if the win-loss ratio in the end might not have quite looked like that. The performances were not bad at all. Truly, obviously, brilliant medic, so nothing much to say there. That is not something we all know about already. Should look promising this season, but going to be tough as well to really make the fight for the top. We'll see if it's enough, and we'll see if it's not today against a team that, unlike that part, maybe much to Flick's happiness this season, didn't have to qualify as well.
Yeah, these guys have been through they have to go through the qualifier, and I don't actually. It's actually embarrassing because I literally casted this game last week, but they did win their first qualifier, so they didn't have to go through 2 games. But it is Garda Panteri. These guys have been around Prem and Div 1 for eons. It feels like eons at least. They're in and out of Prem every couple of years or something like that. And this time the formation again, you got the core soldier duo Mankey and Bud right there. Then you got Menix and Kilsis on the scouts. You've got Shappy this time around on Demo Man. And rounding it out, you got Theos, the Greek himself. The second Greek, actually 2 Greek players on one team in Prem. I don't know if that's ever happened before on the medic as well.
I arguably didn't have a single one in Prem before, if you do not count people that are only half Greek or anything like that, not living in Greece as well. As that, this would be the first one otherwise.
Yeah, well, there we go. That alone is already an achievement, I suppose. But yeah, and this is also an interesting game. I did watch them during the qualifier. They were struggling at least a little bit against Wheelchair in that qualifier, which was a team that happened to have Brian Merking for them during that qualifier match.
Yeah, it makes sense. Ryan obviously was with that roster before, so it's not like unfamiliar player for them as well here, but also did just do well himself. So looking good on that part. We'll see if it's enough in the end to take this, especially with the maps we're seeing tonight as well.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at Gully first, and then Snakewater. I believe Gully was the map that Garda didn't struggle on. They struggled on, I think it was Process. That was the one where Wheelchair took it. Gully, they pretty much dominated, actually. They dominated Wheelchair quite hard on Gullywash. So, who knows? We'll have to see how well TLR do, I suppose. I have a prerequisite. I know exactly what Garda looked like on Gully. It's going to be up to seeing how well TLR do on Gully as well, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting as well with these new rosters as well. It's just going to be a fight for survival now on these 2 rosters to make the run towards playoffs here. TLR in the blue, Garda in the red, fighting it out for the first few points of the season here on first week CP Gullywash.
Let's see how this first little mid-fight is going to go. It could spell the rest of the match, depending on how well it goes for either team here. As they're immediately kicking it off, aggressive out of both teams. Scouts just swarming over the point. Bud is going to be the first to fall, followed quickly by Mankey as well. No soldiers here for Garda. Means the mid is basically over. They lost Theos as well, which is a crucial frag for the side of TLR to find here. And I've just noticed they have Ayusti murking. Or am I losing it? No, that is definitely true. I guess Matthew's not playing tonight.
Yeah, they have to use Demark. I mean, still familiar face, not so much on Sorter. They play Lourdes on Sorter before, but obviously has played Prem in Scout before as well, so once again, not an unfamiliar face, especially around Flick either, so certainly should slot in theory well. Just got to actually perform on the actual class. He Goldsworth, good start, Nuts now, gets a big win on the mid with the advantage into last. Goldsworth for last push here, tried to get the gun down early. That one's not quite happening, but they have plenty of time so before Uber comes up on Rat, and before that's happening, they're long into last point already. Get the gun down right away, down on point, there's still a chance to block this thing a little bit here. It looks like they might just get there as well.
Yeah, they're certainly not putting enough cap time on that. They're not finding any of the frags at all. Just extremely well done kiting by Garda. They're getting everybody in spawn, making sure they're all staying alive. Heavy below point as well, making sure nobody can even get close to that. And, well, there you go. They held that last point pretty handily. Patchouli dying late as well. Pretty disastrous, actually, for TLR here. They're going to be all the way back to their second at the very least. They can try to hold mid here, but if Garda are in any way aggressive, they will push this as soon as they possibly can. They have an Uber to work with as well. Ideally, they wouldn't want to use it, but if they got it, they got it. I guess he's just getting juggled in the air. Oh no, okay, he wins the duel at least against Bud. He trades out, but ultimately he's taken care of, and yeah, they're gonna just take mid off the back of this.
Alright, one step at a time here, getting somewhere once again on Garda all across the map with this advantage still in hand. Gonna get a lot better than this as well. Damn, late to get out, but should be fine. The rest of them still have to worry though. Uber is there already, and looks like not much is being done about this just now as well. No one in a position to really want to force this Uber. So back to last, it is for TLR. Garda taking space here, and maybe a bit more still left to take as well. Patchouli on 70, they're closing up to the 100, but it's still a chance to just get something started into this last point while you still have the opportunity.
And Garda are an aggressive team. They love moving quickly. They do not have brakes on their bus, or at the very least, they aren't working particularly well. But they are staggered enough, or long enough at least, to not be able to use that Uber ad. They're just going to wait. They're going to go for the equal exchange at some point here, but they are still very much posted in the river for a while, seeing if they can get somebody in there. Mankey is going to slip in below water, and he's just going to walk on the point with his stick, and absolutely nobody blocks him for so long. Pulls down a couple of players onto the point, and they get killed as well. Beautifully coordinated spam by Shappy is going to take out those two, so Flick and Ayusti missing for this last hold is going to be disastrous. There's the Uber out of Garda. Obviously, it's going to be slightly later for TLR, but is it going to be slightly better? Nah, not maybe only ever so slightly, but they still have to deal with the player disadvantage, and there's so much just attention on this point. Everybody's bunched up in water, though. Bud just jumps down on them and kills everybody. And there's the 1-0 for Garda.
That's not a bad start here, all the way from their own last point, bring it back to get this one into the lead here. Then last for a round that you have to bring back all the way as well. Not even 4 minutes, already back in it on the side of Garda Panteri. Looking good here, needs another good mid win and actually convert this time as well. TLR won the previous one after all, but gotta take it from there.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna recover from that. Just getting coast to coast in your first round within 5 minutes is always gonna be a bit demotivating, but this mid is off to an okay start, finding the first little frag there onto Mankey. It's opening things up a little bit for them, and I guess there's so much damage, just so much aggression onto that combo. Everybody's just getting pushed back. Nobody's died yet. Bud gets traded out for Flick effectively. There goes Killsis as well, trying to maybe salvage something, but not going to be able to. At the very least, Garda have kept Theos alive this time, and they're still trying their best to get him out of there. Shappy lays down his life. Medics has decided to stay in as well, just to make sure that his medic can get out, and it looks like he will be able to escape with his life. Medic's actually not having taken a lot of damage so far, just kind of dodging and weaving a little bit, managing to meet up with his team again. They're going to maybe contest second here. They do have an Uber ready. Patchouli doesn't have yet, so this could actually be pretty bad for him if he doesn't get it soon. Okay, he will have it in time before there's any sort of danger on his players. Matter of fact, it looks like nobody from Garda can really commit onto any blue players here at all, and Menix is going to lay down his life for it.
Didn't really do enough here in the end. Truly with Uber still able to make this a run for last. TLR on the verge of just bringing this game back before. Really trying not to control much at all. Uber to last quite early, force people back. Need to get onto point a little bit more flawlessly than last time. Died on it quite early. Still fighting for a little bit here, but they're getting kills over this time round, and that's just good enough. They Uber barely even faded as they got to the cap here and got the first 2 kills. Rest of the blue red team can't even get out of spawn anymore by the time this point is capped up, and we're already back to 1-1.
Turns out all you gotta do to win is play the objective. That helps a lot.
Just win.
And yeah, Flick just walks on the point, caps that out, manages to keep himself alive, and there you go. 1-1 just like that. This is a fast-paced match. we may have very well got a game on our hands here as this next mid unfolds. Again, aggressive out of both teams. Who's going to be the first to fall? Is it going to be the Garda soldiers once more? It looks like it's the same story. Mankey dies to Ayusti. Ryan gets straight out on the other side, though. There goes Corey as well. It is not looking all that great for TLR right now. They are trading left and right, but the trades are going in favor of Garda. It's only Patchouli and Zams left, and they're making a run for it. And if they're not careful, they might even get caught. Menix is already on the chase. He does get doinked by Zams, though, and Chappie cannot catch up in the time. So they're gonna get out of there. They're gonna be safe to last, but well, that's where they are. They're on last. They're gonna have to try and reclaim second, even just to get ground here. With Garda players already swarming it from big door as well. Ryan going for a huge bomb in. Does not really hit all that much damage on Theo, so Theo's beautifully surfs it away as well. Yusti ready to follow up, but can't find the target he's looking for. Has to settle for a scout instead. Bud gets taken care of as well, actually. Okay, Ryan doing some nice follow-up there. Mankey is on Spy.
I mean, maybe they just won't see it coming. He's in a decent position already to get through the medic quickly here. They need to slow them down a little bit into mid to really get the chance on the stab, but otherwise, that's a good opportunity. No one's looking back just yet. The Mets turning around, and he's just standing there right in front of him. Oh, no, just too late.
Didn't quite work. Just a bit of too much games in the Patchouli just to decide, yeah, I'm going to turn around and have maybe a look if there could be any threats behind me, and didn't quite work out. Element of surprise was there. Mankey just couldn't quite follow up quickly enough, and that's going to be TLR taking mid, taking it forward to second as well, pressuring back these Garda players. They know they're down a soldier. They know they don't have quite the aggression they could want to hold this with, and Ryan putting down so much damage with Zams on this top river just means everybody's out of there, escaping with their lives. They got to get to last. Garda has to just hold this. They are down an Uber as well, which is going to be disastrous to try and hold this as the Uber already comes in from TLR. They're trying to send this as deep as they can, as fast as they can. They're not finding the frags, but there's nobody on the cap to block for so long as well. Mankey has to come in, kill Flick together with Chappie. Finally, they're finding some frags out of side of Garda. It is even numbers so far. Okay, they're finding more frags on the side of Garda, but Zams is still has a dream. Almost gets away with it too. Unfortunately, yeah, Killsis decided to turn around and gun him down with the heavy, but still, that was close.
There you go, the scoreline won't change that easy just yet. Garda holding on for dear life. Still have an opportunity before the demo spawns up to get to the second here. The rest of them are looking to fight back, though they're still trying to get the force here, maybe at the very least, out of any of this, but it's looking kind of tough on that. The threat from behind by the soldier also not really coming to fruition, but Ryan's still there, so the option to have the player pop up from behind is still certainly online. Do know about that one, but how is he going to do anything if you just walk away? Onto mid, it goes for them already here, just not trying to deal with it too much, and it's just avoided for the time being. Big pipe play Zams, everyone's taking so much damage to that. Oh, while Corey's cleaning up, it's just 2 down for basically nothing in no time at all, and look at that, Uber comes out with not much gain in the end.
Beautifully done, as that's as good as you can get it. Corey's still in behind as well, just being a bit of a menace, pulling some players back here, being a bit of an annoying mosquito in the back of the back lines of Garda here. Finally, basically needed 3 players to clean that up, which is well, disastrous if you're trying to not lose right now. As TLR have a solid hold on mid now. They've got a full Uber to work with as well. Might wait for their scout spawn, might not. They do know that they have the Uber to work with if they so desire. And even just the pressure of having that full Uber could get them in for free if they so desire. Yusti's gonna make the leap forward first, followed up by Flick as well, and they're just gonna pressure these players back as best they can. Bud tries going for a bomb, gets one little rocket onto Patchouli, but cannot follow it up. Has to escape with his life. Meanwhile, Mankey's gonna try to do exactly that, follow up, but can't quite land on target. He has to settle for IST instead before getting taken care of. Ryan, meanwhile, got taken down on the flank as well, but it started to look a bit dire for TLR. Actually, the Uber comes out of the side of Garda as well. It is equal Ubers, no soldiers for either side as well. So it's kind of just a stalemate until the post-Uber can finally start. And, well, in this situation, it's all down to just positioning and DM. If you can get the first frag, Chappie gets struggled up, but he will live for the time being. Never mind, he gets piped by Zams. He's going to have a word with that. Julius is not going to let that one slide. And, well, die right after. But still, there's the reinforcement. Soldiers come in. This is all it takes to maybe turn the tides of the fight, and right now they are turning in favor of TLR. No healing means that they can just win this war of attrition. Killsis is still alive, trying to be a bit of a menace there down below, but he does get taken care of. Flick wins those, and finally, they cap off second.
It's getting places here maybe for TLR finally. It's been a close game for the most part, but it's a great opportunity to just get in quick before the spawns come and maybe to get something going. It looks like the spam is enough to really hold them off the last point for the time being here. Get their own numbers up as well. More importantly though, the Uber, this one didn't have to work that badly. They still have the fallback of the Uber to rely on and get something started. The second try around might just work out. Give the defense a bit of time here. We see the power of the gun being put out to deal with this Übercharge coming in here. But River Push, it is send people under, 2 of them in fact, just rushing the lower area, trying to get rid of whatever's hiding behind the point, and that's good, looking like good damage right away here. Devilman barely alive, but not for much longer either as they get to point. Bud has to step in and block this, and does actually clean up pretty well. It's only just a 2v2 fight here, both teams with the heals on one guy, but looks like Zams might just get the damage a little bit quicker in the end.
Can he win the melee duel? No, he's losing! Okay, Pachuli's got it. Pachuli has it under control. It was all planned. It was a planned sacrifice by Zams. He's gonna finish off that cap, make it 2-1 for TLR with, 19 minutes left on the clock. Anything can still go, but it is a match on our hands here. We're going quick.
Almost, but... That's always the danger there when like multiple people run into the same melee fight. You just will end up slapping each other more than your opponent. It can be very awkward.
And that was almost the downfall of TLR. Thankfully it wasn't, and now we're into our next mid fight as they try to work their miracles once more. They did lose the last one, but they did win the round at the end, so it only really matters how this one is going to go. And the first casualty is going to be Zams. That's a huge frag for Garda to grab here. With everybody else on TLR kind of out of position as well. They do manage to trade out Ayusti for Bud, but Ryan gets taken down as well, so it is simply not going to happen for TLR. They are back to last already. TLR bros, get ready to hold last, buddy, because that's all you can do at this point. At least they kept Pachuli alive, so they're gonna have an equal Uber situation. It's not all doom and gloom.
Not yet, but it still very quickly could turn around here if you're just not careful on this last point. The option to go on point, always online. Gotta keep your eyes on it. It looks like we have soldiers staring down the lower entry as much as they can, but that still makes you vulnerable here. There's a lot of entrances to keep your eyes on after all on this point, and they're trying. Mankey already lurking in the backlines, just waiting for the opportunity. With Bud going down, however, I don't think that's going to come all too soon.
Yeah, Bud probably trying to make a distraction there for Mankey to be able to step on the point. Mankey loves running that pain train, so he would have had quite a lot of cap speed, but he's going to have to get out for now, and they're going to have to reset for the time being on the side of Garda. Try for a different approach. Maybe Bud's going to off-class. Who knows? Probably not, though. Doesn't strike me as that type of guy, but either way, they have to make the plays here. They're down a round. They want to, at least equalize it and then start taking rounds again, so they have to make a move. They have to try and bust this last hold somehow, and thankfully Gullywash has a lot of ways to make that happen. For the time being, though, losing Killsys is going to make that significantly more difficult.
Maybe so, we'll see. I mean, there's still plenty of time for Garda in the end. The stalemate barely started, map is still barely midway through. Not too big a deal just yet. Maybe the scout also off classes. There's plenty of ways they can approach this one. Kills has been seen on sniper before, and this will be one of those times, I guess.
Here we go. The man loves sniping, so I am not surprised. Unfortunately, it looks like Ayusti has just slipped into big door, ignores Killsys completely, but has called the sniper's existence, so that's fun. I don't know, where is man going? What? He's on a journey. Bro's on a quest, and his quest target is Theos, who is upriver, completely unprotected only by Shappy. He's gonna get the force out of that. An unbelievable flank. How did he get away with that? That is unbelievable. How can that happen?
Sometimes they just don't see it coming, I guess. Sometimes you just gotta try and hope for the best. Worked out this time around, maybe just enough. He's still peeking after all of that as well. It's terrifying. You just lost 2, barely fall back into your standard hold. Medic just about gets back to dispenser armor, and there's still just a mad gunman running around the last point. Does not fall apart just yet. Garda, however, we'll need some time to really recover right now. It doesn't look like TLR's too keen to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, they're up around. If they so desperately desire, they could also just play for the round reset, get themselves 2 points for the price of 1, right? It's only 2.5 minutes left to try and get there. If you can hold Gully last for that long, which, to be fair, is not as easy as some other maps, and as soon as they allow Killsys to get a nasty angle, just even for a second, if that man can hit his shot, you're gonna be looking at something that could be much more disastrous. For the time being, the Uber is back for Garda. Killsys is trying to get his sneaky little sniper shot in, perhaps. Everybody's bunched up on that sentry side, but they are just out of view. He has to settle for a lower tier target, maybe. He's trying to peek deep, see if he can find anything. Nah, can't even get a shot onto Ryan. He's just gonna have to back off again. Try again, rotate angles, all that good stuff. Garda really seem to be banking on that sniper play working out for them at this point, because they're playing very passive on every other accord, really. They're just hoping that Killsys can get his shot off. Mankey trading out for Ryan is not gonna do it. Bud trading out for Ayusti as well, effectively. Not gonna do it either. It's just the back and forth of soldiers getting killed, but that's not gonna open it up for you as Garda. You need those to be able to push.
They wanted this Snakewater equation so bad on the defense as well here. They just needed kills down to be safe here. That guy is hitting stuff. Maybe not the lethal shots just yet, but people are just constantly taking 150 here and there. Maybe not in the intervals it's killing anyone just yet, but it's just still very annoying. And the threat is still very much there. Garda playing it slow though, like he said, and eventually time is going to run out here, so sooner or later something has to work. The point play was pretty threatening just now. It's getting there, but they just have to have hitting now.
Mankey is poised below. Okay, he's got Ryan once more, shutting him down, making sure that there's no cheeky, funky business, but he could have very well had a window to step onto the point there, and there's the shot Kills was looking for, just killing anybody. Killing Corey here makes it so Mankey can't get pushed off the point so easily, and he gets so much cap time with that pain train. It is unbelievable. Kills rings off another one onto Zams as well. The Uber is forced out of Patchouli, just trying to keep his last two players alive, but Flick gets dropped out of it. It's only, I guess, the Corey finally spawning. Maybe trying to salvage it somehow, but the Uber is obviously just not coming in from Theo's. It is so much better. So many players on the point for Garda, and they managed to equalize it just like that. Kills is coming in clutch, finally finding the shots he wanted to.
It took a while there, but it works out in the end. Just gonna put the pressure on over and over and over on this last point. Something might eventually crack, and this time TLR will give in just enough to get the point going. Beautiful force for them in the end, 2-2 as we had way halfway through the map now. It's a tight up game, anyone can take it here. Let's see how the mid fight develops, but going in high, sees the medics, wants that kill, hits one good drag, the second bomb comes in just at the worst time though. That's airborne for the Surf, timing not there for the Red Soldiers when they badly needed it. At least they're training on numbers elsewhere, but the blue team's not done yet. They're going in deep, they're not wanting to let them escape at all after any of this, and it's looking pretty good on the cleanup here.
Oh no, yeah, that's an absolutely horrific situation, just stuck in that alleyway. No matter what you do, no matter how hard you try to keep your medic safe in that situation, it's so unbelievably over when you have a demo and a soldier running you down. So that's going to be a 1 mid here for TLR. They're going to keep rolling it forward into a last, potentially, considering they have a full Uber to work with. Theos just now spawning, means he's just now building. Patchouli, meanwhile, basically has a full Uber. And if TLR are not brain dead, they are absolutely going to try to utilize that full advantage, well, to try and get into this last point. Now, they've botched this before. They have botched it before.
I suppose, but you gotta have faith here. It's worked out at least 2 more times before that as well, and if you just repeat that a little bit more, this will be fine. Rushing down Mankey on the point. Takes a second, gets success though. That moment alone on point. Chappie taken care of here as well. The pincer maneuver, 2 under, 1 up top. Just gets rid of the point play pretty quickly on the red side, and that is just all they need to see to get the rest of the cap time going immediately after that as well. Look at that, you doubted them and they just executed exactly the same plan they did before, just fine.
Sometimes you just need a hater to succeed in life. You just need haters, and then everything works. We're 3-2 now. It is a fast-paced match, a close match so far on our hands here. Let's see if maybe ETL are going to start running away with it. Their rounds have been quicker when they've converted them, so maybe if they win another mid here, we could see them run away with it. For the time being, they are going to find Shappy immediately. Killsis is also taken care of. There goes Bud, just kind of stuck in no man's land. Mankey just barely behind, but he's not going to be able to get all that much. He gets a little bit of damage on the combo, but nobody dies, and it's another wipe out of Garda. Yeah, it looks like there might be a TLR running away with it a little bit here. Ugh.
Maybe so. It's finally getting there for TLR. Took a while to really get started, but maybe they finally reached the point of the game where they're just running away with it. It only needs 2 more rounds as well. With this much time left, it doesn't sound so difficult to do way before we hit the 0-minute mark as well. Maybe that's just a little bit easier at this point than just dragging this over the finish line the long way around, especially with this one working. If this one just does it, and the last 2 have been good, we have a problem on Garda. They need to have a big comeback at that rate.
Yeah, they need an answer to this lower bust, basically, that TLR does, where they just send, like, 2 classes down to overwhelm Mankey and Shappy in lower, and it worked every single time. They're doing it again. Ryan and Corey down below, the rest of the team trying to get across point, and Mankey and Shappy both already kind of low, getting overwhelmed. There's so much cap time on the point, and they're just getting mulched back there. Finally, the spawn reinforcements come in, the people that rotated around, and they managed to take care of most of this aggression ever so slightly, but Ryan is still in water. Okay, he does get snuffed out. He is going to be taken care of, but it could have been nasty. Yeah, it could have been nasty, that one.
And like I said, I mean, they really badly needed to do it. They worked like two times in a row now, basically the exact same push. Finally, a bit more success on that on Garda's part. Managed to deal with a little bit more here. Oh, Mankey, a rough spot, but tries to take his place, but I think that is both going to die this rate. Both soldiers in a really bad position here will fall to his death as well. They're trying to make space, but they're just eating all the damage instead, and suddenly this looks really die. They still have the Uber, and it looks like they're so desperate they will just use this here very early, and the chase is just too long to really continue there. They're all the way back in choke, and with that way into mid before they can do much about it. Ryan in the backup attempt as well has to be addressed in the meantime here. The repush is starting already. However, Flick going a little bit ahead of the rest of the team. He maybe just calls before, or goes before the calls come through on his part and just goes in on his lonesome, will go down, and that misstep on TLR might finally put Garda on the second point.
I will have to correct you there. That was actually just a beam 1v1. Menix and Flick both on the beam, and Menix just owned him. he just curb stomped him, so that's all that happened there. But it was enough to, like, that frag was crucial in securing them the second point here for Garda. With Flick taken care of and Patchouli having to hightail out of there again, that means that Garda actually have second under control, and their Uber dissat is not massive. It's not enormous. Even if they have to leave here, if they can keep Theos alive or get an early force on Patchouli, they have a chance of actually holding the second and then getting back at, or like leapfrogging TLR a little bit here. They're gonna have an Uber ready. They have taken care of Ryan as well. That's gonna buy them a lot of time. Even if the cap goes through, they're gonna try to block it. There's the Uber out of Patchouli. It's slightly better, but he has to flash quite a lot, so it's gonna be ending at roughly equal times as well. Theos is keeping it on his scout for as long as he can. Finally, the reinforcements are here as well, and they've managed to snuff out most of these TLR players out of second at least. They push him all the way to mid, and now yes, he's trying to go huge here, cleaning up as much as he can, but it is simply not enough. Patchouli somehow slips away with his life, but they are gonna have to give up mid at the end of the day.
There we go. Garda might still drag this into, well, maybe not overtime just yet. Still plenty of time left to be played here, but at least towards the tie that helps them get back to the game. Sometimes to still bring this all the way back, let alone that as well. Maybe a comeback might still be happening here. They have a good position now. However, they don't really have the lead into the Uber situation not to last just now, unfortunately. So as much as they're in a good spot for the time being, they still have to drag this out the long way around again. And they make this work before, but you need success a lot faster than, you know, in a 4.5 minute last hold just now.
Yeah, I mean, like, Theos much rather, Patchouli staying alive. Theos not managing to come away with an ad out of that is really gonna bite Garda here, because they now have to take their time and be methodical again with their last pushes. They've been struggling a little bit so far this match. Maybe we'll see another sack by Killsys back onto Sniper again. It worked for them once, but it does cost a lot of time. And with now 7 minutes left, you're a round down. It is enough time to get around, maybe 2, but you really gotta start working for it. You can't take your time forever. You gotta actually start making plays. And while they're sending in Mankey below, see if he can make some plays onto the point. Killsys is gonna try to follow it up as well. They have capped half of it. That is certainly something. Mankey's gonna get snuffed out though. Never mind, they're actually gonna trade him out for Ryan. Okay, Ryan overextends his luck a little bit, and there comes the Uber. That's all they needed, trading that Scout for a Soldier effectively. Menix goes in deep behind the point, manages to get the force out of Patchouli as well. So they're gonna try to go for the post-Uber play here. Unfortunately, Mankey dies in water as well, so it's gonna be, well, maybe they're just gonna wait for Ubers in general.
Yeah, it was quite unfortunate. Menix was in the position where he could have probably just taken a slightly better shot there, like immediately kill the soldier as well before the force came to flash that guy. It would have made this repush so much easier here as it stands. It's a bit more complicated than that. It looks like they will keep the position on second at least. They were thinking about pushing up a little bit, but not much coming out of that. Garda now back to square one basically.
Just have to reset. Try to readjust. Get your bearings, try it once more. Maybe this time it'll work, maybe this time you catch somebody. The sentry is only level 1 so far, so like, that's not something to worry about. And Mankey just does what he does best. Walks on the point with that pain train, pulls a lot of attention back, and immediately you've got 2 players taken care of on the side of TLR. And plus the sentry gun for that matter. That's effectively 2.5 players. The Uber comes out of the side of TLR first, so it's gonna be a bit better for Theos, but he is going to also flash a little bit, keep his team alive. So as the Ubers fade, we're now in a post-Uber fight, and the positioning is so much better for Garda for the time being. Everybody's just bunch up on the point for TLR, and that's it. They just get mulched on the point, and it gets equalized once more.
And there we go, 6 minutes left here. Another slow round, and we have the golden cap on our hands, so someone needs to get around fairly quickly to have the safety into. So at that point, you're in match point 2, so anything and everything will just get you into such a good position to trade. TLR on the brink once more. Garda have shown, I think, twice now, right? They can bring this back all the way from last as well here, so you just can't afford any mistakes against these guys. It's very terrifying at the moment as we go into this next mid fight. Both teams rolling out quick, but like the blue team tries to just go enemy side instantly. A little bit unconventional enemy side mid fight, but it might just work out in the end.
Yeah, they're certainly finding the crucial frags right now. They're trading them out, and now it's Sams and Flick versus Menix and Killsys effectively. So if you know, Sams can just shut down this choke point a little bit, these scouts are gonna struggle a lot, even just trying to get any ground here. At the end of the day, it might just be a 1 mid, even if not as decisively as it could have been for TLR. They managed to win the mid anyway, and that already puts them just a step ahead here. With this last round, we're in our last round with those 5 minutes left. It is going to be, you know, down to the wire perhaps, if these teams do not wish to go for a golden cap. That being said, I think either team would also be perfectly content with not losing right now.
Yeah, you have to like weigh out your risk rewards. How much are you willing to do that you could like lose from a fail from, you know? It's a little awkward now as well. It looks like just Ryan dying might just be enough already. Everyone's stuck on low ground here. The red team's taking a lot of space already in choke that they are not covering after the solo loss. No one's watched the flank at all. That moment bombed instantly, but quick to take care of that as well. And down gets another one with the backup coming in too. Everyone's teaming up to just about get enough damage. And that puts us in a very precarious position on TLR. Just really bad rotation, I think. They were so stuck on low ground, no one really on the high ground anymore mid after they tried to get the bomb across, and it's just become very awkward from here.
Yeah, the entire wraparound by the combo here for Garda as well, getting that Uber exchanged basically, but crucially, Shappy's behind. I don't know how my man's ended up here. He's kind of lost, but now he's right behind Patchouli. He's going to try to just kill him as best he can. Honestly, even if you got to trade it out for that is all that mattered. It worked out, and there you go. You managed to grab yourself a Patchouli frag, even if you lose mid for it. That is probably one of the best trade deals you can possibly get. So they're going to be looking to immediately take this back into mid once maybe Shappy comes up and they get their Uber built and all that stuff. Now Garda are in control. They're at least for now, they're in control of the round. They control the pace of the game, and again, with 3.5 minutes left on the clock, well, they kind of got to start getting their asses in gear a little bit if they want to take this home in regulation time. They certainly are. They're pushing this mid already, taking some ground. Managed to trade out Ryan for Mankey. IST just barely living, but he does live in the end, so that's not going to be a frag they get to claim, and with that, they get mid. Now they have to keep rolling it forward, though. That's going to get tougher and tougher as they go on.
Yeah, second point should still be easy to take here as long as there's no bombs coming in, but it looks like for the most part, not much inside. You see still peeking here, but that's pretty much all they have left in store. They just really badly know they need this Uber more than anything. Fall back to last, play it safe, you maybe get a gun up as well, it looks like, and just settle to Scotland. You said at this point you might have to figure out just settle with Stamit, not try to lose, maybe a little bit easier to do at least than trying to win at this rate, and now for TLR that watch is certainly true. They need to just make sure nothing happens that makes us fall apart completely. Garda's slow approach on last so far might help them there, but I mean, they know what's up as well, Garda. They know they need to speed things along here a little bit, so I'm sure we'll see a little bit of a change of pace from their part as well.
They probably also know, decided TLR now, to expect that Mankey water play. He's getting shut down. He does not get to go onto that point. They're going to trade out Yossi for Killsys, which is probably a better trade for Garda at the end of the day, but Bud is in no position to really do any helping out right now. Flick is just so far forward in lobby as Pyro, making sure that soldier is out of commission for a little while. So, yeah, I mean, TLR perfectly content with holding this. I'm sure if they manage to, like, wipe Garda, they would maybe try to go for the leapfrog coast to coast, but for the time being, it will probably just boil down to them for trying to hold this last point for another 2 minutes and taking it to a golden cap. Well, Garda are going to throw whatever they can at it because they can basically not lose right now. They have very little to lose. The longer they take here, the less they can lose, but also the less likely they are to win, I guess.
Yeah, it's an awkward line to take right now as well. It's back to Sniper, it worked before, why not try again? TLR has seen this a couple times now, so maybe they're a little bit better dealing with it quickly this time around as well. It looks like the damage in just every single entranceway that Garda's trying to use is just getting shut down pretty early, so making it very difficult for them for the time being already. Not a bad start just now, but as the final minute is approaching, like you said, Garda can just kind of throw anything in here and not get rolled back in time anymore, so maybe at some point even Killsys will just swap off, but I think that window of opportunity is close as well. They're just stuck with the sniper now until the very end.
Yeah, they basically they can just do whatever the hell they want now. Garda they can throw whatever the hell they want at this. We're going to see one more Uber exchange. How that's going to go, Lord knows. Jesus take the wheel on that one, but we will see something. Mankey's going to pull some aggression to the point here. He's going to trade out with Ryan, actually, which is pretty crucial if you're trying to push. Taking out the defender is going to help you at the end of the day, but for some reason, spawners are just not going to be in Garda's favor, and Killsys getting taken down as well is going to spell doom for this attempt. They will be ready for another Hail Mary push at the very end here with those Ubers up and all that, but they will have to move immediately if they want to make something happen. And it looks like they're whipping out some crazy strats because Mankey has decided to go Pyro. They are trying to make something happen here. They're going to get on that point, have Mankey airblast everybody off. Bud dying is going to put a little bit of a hamper on things, but they just have to go. They have to hold W, get here as fast as they can, and there's the Uber out of Patchouli. It's going to be a little bit later than Theos's, but it's going to be good enough to keep these Garda players off the point, because there's just a lot of right-clicking happening with Pyros right now, and for some reason, Garda almost won.
It's not quite enough. Sam's even, I think he got the kills within the regular time still. So I think that even counted for logs, the 3-kill pipe there in the end. But that's it. Garda. I mean, at least they got it here, right? They were down for a second, but it's 3-3 in the end. I mean, I don't really know who's really happy about this right now. I'm sure both teams had high aspirations in this match. 3-3 is not a loss for anyone just yet, but you can't rest on this result just yet. Overtime still approaching here. We need a winner here after all.
Yeah, we do need to decide who actually wants to win this map tonight. We have another one to play. They got to get through another one as well. And that might be a very different story for all we know, because it is going to be Snakewater. But for the time being, it has been a close match so far. This has been closely contested. Like not just by the scoreline. You can tell by the stats. You can see them on screen right now. These teams have been like 2 for 2 right now. They have been taking pot shots at each other, and it's been very equal so far. Like, I struggle to see a standout performance, except for Zams, who somehow dealt an absolutely astronomical amount of damage. I don't know how he did that, but he did it somehow.
Someone's got to play tank, I guess. I don't know. It's anyone's game, I guess. We've even seen like an enemy side mid, which we rarely see in Prem these days, I feel like, and it wasn't very traditional one either. Normally you see everyone walk up the same slope and just like die on the way, basically. I like the idea though with that one. It didn't work out too bad. So I don't know, really anything's possible here into the golden cap. Someone could just pull out something weird, and we'll see how it goes. I'm just still on the last pushes for Garda. Like, the sniper kind of worked, but wasted so much time. And in a game like this, they just needed more time by the end, right?
Yeah, like what I've noticed is, I'm not actually looking at the exact stats right now, but it feels like whenever TLR got around, it was way quicker, the conversion. Like, yeah, they botched the first round, right? They got leapfrogged there, they got coast-to-coasted. But like, every single time TLR won a round, they got it so much more quickly. They got their last push in so much more easily. It worked so much better for them. And Garda were just kind of struggling to find an opening, right? To make it work. They had the Mankey pulling people to the point plays and all that stuff, but it never quite had the follow-up it needed. Meanwhile, like, basically 100% success rate for TLR. They just send their bust down through water. It just absolutely annihilates both the demo and the soldier trying to hold the point, and then the rest of the team swarms the point and they win. It worked so much better for them, right? Their strategy was so much better on the last pushes. So, what I'm saying is the golden cap might come down to the mid fight, right? As soon as TLR wins that decisively, especially if it's a wipe, there's no shot that Garda could have any comeback.
It's gonna be difficult. Here's the bad news, though. They started the golden cap, and
now there's a pause.
After the mid fight, Corey timed out.
Corey timed out after the mid fight. Okay, well, that's good to know. That,
if they're on the winning position after the mid fight, that's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
If they're on the losing end of that mid fight, and Corey respawned again after dying on it, for example, that's also very awkward. So there's no winning there. Whichever position TLR is in that point, either it's going to cost them like a player on last pushing in or trying to hold, and it's not good. No matter what.
That is very unfortunate, and the clairvoyance has cursed us with that one. So we already know how the first little bit of the golden cap is going to look. We know Garda are indubitably going to be in control, even if they wiped on mid. They're going to take back control of the game very quickly, right? They're not going to lose immediately. So yeah, that's going to be a tough one. Now we got to work with like the clairvoyant Nostradamus revelation we've had. Like, what do you do in that situation, TLR? It's such a crucial point at which to crash. Like, obviously you'd never want to crash, but if you could choose when to crash, you really wouldn't want that to happen right after the golden cap mid-fight. That is such a terrible time to crash. Oh, God. Well,
we'll see what it is. For what it's worth, I'm fairly confident Corey will be fighting on this mid-fight, so that much is for sure. They at least will have an honest shot at winning this final mid-fight, and maybe that's all you need, right?
Maybe. And again, maybe if they just wipe Garda, they certainly still have a chance to stay in it quite confidently, but it's going to boil down to how this mid-fight goes. And no, there's another pause right away, so we won't actually see it. Uh-oh.
So that's arguably a spoiler, I suppose, at this point, because the round hasn't ended at that point. But it's my next timed out. Which means both teams had the pause now. So this is within regulation, at least. When it's over, I see the reconnected temp be very quick, so maybe it'll be fine.
I mean, all I'm saying is if both teams have their disconnects here, I guess that equalizes things at the end of the day. But yeah, that is a spoiler. We know this round goes on for at least another 90 seconds past this point, and That'll certainly give us some help here. If this mid-fight will continue, in mere seconds' time, we will know who's actually going to be the one to win it. I still have my money on it, maybe being TLR, and then Corey, leaves to the Shadow Realm for a second, but I guess we'll see in a moment when these teams actually decide that maybe they really should have used a different server. Like, we were talking about this in the pregame. They were like, "Oh, we want to switch servers after the first map." Maybe they were onto something. Maybe
I don't think the disconnects have much to do with that, but
you never know, man. You never
who
know.
knows? Maybe this is the excuse now. Now that people tapped out, they have all argument grounds to change server from here.
That would certainly not be annoying at all. No, not at all. God, what? So you said Menix reconnected immediately. This pause is awfully long.
Well, and sadly comes back already, and then he timed out again. So I don't know what's happening with Menix right now.
God, this is
He's trying. He's trying his hardest.
It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare.
This is not good times in Greece or Finland, I guess, right now.
And, like, the worst time to have this happen is the golden cap. Like, the most crucial round of the entire map. Like, they couldn't have this happen the first round.
I can't even tell you where they are in the golden cap right now. Just somewhere in the golden cap, everything's falling apart for them.
That's incredible timing. Incredibly terrible timing, but incredible nevertheless. Yeah, I don't even know what to predict at this point. Anything could happen. Like, we're staring down like an infinite possibility sort of timeline. Like, Lord knows, right? I don't know what position TLR are in after Corey crashed. I don't know what situation Garda are gonna be in once Menix manages to actually, stay on the server for more than 2 seconds. It's a nightmare. It's a match out of hell right now. That's what it is.
Well, do we have team matching hats? That's sometimes you see that. So
yeah, Garda have matching loadouts across the team. Interesting. I like when teams do that. I do like.
Maybe it will make them win a golden cap. Who knows? Maybe it makes the difference.
What level of Copium are we on? What grade is this?
Oh, actually, okay. Here's the extra part. The classes that can have like something to smoke as well are doing it as well, which is kind of funny. Actually, it's not true. I think the Soda has a cigar as well. Never mind. Which means Mankey and Bud are half-assing it actually. Unlucky.
Oh, come on. I know it was just a jitter on pause, but please. I think we might be
that's a pause on pause, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Which means surely he's back now. It says he's trying to connect, but we all know what that means. That's just you clicking enter after entering to connect into your console, so doesn't have to mean it worked yet, I suppose.
To be fair, I can't envy them for trying to find a server that would work on this match, considering these players are all over Europe, but finally, the unpause comes through. Now, we know that this mid-fight doesn't mean everything, but it looks like right now it is kind of equal. Never mind. It looks like Garda are just getting shellacked, but Chuli gets destroyed by Mankey. It doesn't matter. And Theos has lived as well, so even if TLR win this mid, barely, they are certainly not in it forever, and Theos has lived, and more importantly, this is where Corey crashes. So, yeah, they're staying in this. Garda are going to be coming back in this immediately.
We'll have to wait and see when Menix times out twice, which might have been here, I think. Maybe?
It was shortly after. It certainly wasn't that soon, right? It was about, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Oh no, he's still on the combo. It can't have been here, I think.
Yeah, no, it was a bit from now. I feel like it's probably maybe when they're trying to do this push, which would be disastrous, but it happens any second now. So after that comes through, we'll know for sure, but for the time being, Garda are in control of the match ever so slightly. They have a bigger Uber, they have someone to work with here, and they're going to try to get their way into this midpoint, which they're going to take the charge on, and they're just going to actually pressure back all these TLR players for free, which is extraordinarily fair. If you're TLR here, you don't really want to catch all this heat. You'd rather be safe with it, take it back to second, maybe even to last, if you desperately have to. But for the time being, they're going to be keeping themselves safe, and Garda are going to be taking second, well, for free for the time being. Naturally, TLR aren't going to give that up for free, and yeah, this is where Menix crashed. Yep, this is where he crashed.
This is where they paused?
They
couldn't wait a moment?
Oh, that's unfortunate. That is so funny. He crashed as he was just on the point, as the Uber came in from TLR. So they were without Menix this entire fight. This entire post-Uber. Somehow, though, Garda are not giving it up. They're not giving this one up for free. They're not getting out of here just yet. Corey is going to pick up a kill onto Bud, and the rest of the team are immediately like, okay, that's it. That was our lifeline. Bud was still in, But now that he's taken care of, we're out of here. We're going to go back to mid. And Flick is actually going to take the charge forward, trying to maybe take the helm on a little bit of a push attempt here out of TLR. Unfortunately, Mankey is flanked behind, and it's causing a bigger havoc on second and pulling back these TLR players. So maybe, just maybe, both teams can finally stabilize in these chaotic, tumultuous times, but that's not going to happen as TLR keep rolling in. Killsys just cleans up the entire flank by himself. A bit of help by Bud is going to take care of Ayosti as well, and suddenly TLR in a dire position.
It's looking a little awkward right now. This Zams as well.
Oh no.
Uber needs this thing so bad right now. There's 2 Scots on the demo man. They're not hitting enough though. He gets the charge just in time, but all of that is just to get out of here alive. And at this point, this is really a life well lived at all. Like barely getting to last after losing the second point. Still have to worry about the demo man. They might just send someone in early, but it looks like everyone's a little slow here trying to rotate from River instead. It might work out though. They're getting players under and they have to scramble to get blue players on point instead on the other side as well.
Yeah, Mankey's already trying to do his little cheeky point play as well with Killsys here. They're putting a lot of cap time actually on for how little time they spent on there. It goes to show how much that really helps, but it is not enough. Theos is the only living soul for Garda, and he is well out of there. He's not letting anything happen. They're stabilizing. TLR have stabilized. Tumultuous times, but they just pull through by the skin of their teeth. And they actually have a bit of an Uber ad now as well. Would you look at that?
I mean, maybe that will go enough of a distance here, but it's still quite a way to go here, and they still have to actually get past whoever's still waiting in choke. They're really far forward on Garda. Actually, they don't want him to take any bit of space, but kind of backwards. They're eating a lot of damage. No one watched the flank there for a second. Corey can't get much from the flank going as well, and that's kind of just where it ends, unfortunately. TLR, with the one flanking scout and everyone eating a lot of damage in choke, had a spot where it might have worked out a little bit better here, but as it stands, they get the Uber first, and they're trying to flex this as much as they can, but they have to wait long enough to get this Uber that everyone Garda actually realized they had to fall back as well, and suddenly it's become very awkward. Flick to chase on Mankey at least gets one quick kill out of this one in the end, but against the full Uber coming in front of them now, I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, that was a very questionable Uber. I do not know how to summarize that except for saying, huh. What were they thinking out of TLR? Maybe they thought they had bigger ad, maybe they thought there were more people to chase than there actually were, and now they're on the dire receiving end of an Uber themselves, and there goes Patchouli and Ryan. 2 crucial players to take out here, even with Flick trying to buy some time behind and being a bit of a nuisance. At the end of the day, you just lost your medic, and if you can't get out to Theos here, which is not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon, even if Flick requires 3 players to be taken care of, that's a great position to put Garda in. Like, I don't know what they were thinking with that Uber. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but I think they legit probably just thought that they could catch somebody with it and gravely miscalculated.
One last chance is maybe a force, but looks like the soldier doesn't quite find it. Corey died early already as well, and the soldier bomb doesn't even manage to leave alive anymore as well.
No.
2 down, make that 3. Soldier stuck here as well. Everyone's doubling down on the force, but no one's getting anything from this in the end. And with Patchouli only having 60, the second one already capped, this Uber at the last might just end the game right here. Jump on point, but is running escape plan for some reason. We were trying to help him out here a little bit, but in the end, Killsys gets on point, and everyone has to scramble to get there just in time. But I don't think it's enough here. Garda finally takes home map 1.
That's a wrap. Garda manages to take the first map off of what is effectively just a severe lapse of judgment from TLR. I hate to call it that, but it really was. I feel like it was just a throw. They kind of just threw it away. Maybe nerves got them a little bit. I don't know, but that's what made it in the end. And Garda are going to take Gullywash as we're headed into Snakewater next. That is maybe a bit heartbreaking for TLR. I don't know, nerves got them or something. I don't know what that was, but I think we'll have people analyzing that play until the end of time.
Yeah, that was something to regret for the rest of the week at least, until the next match comes around, and then it's full focus time again, and to not make these mistakes again here, or at the very least, for the next 5 minutes, I guess you can worry, and then you need to just be full focus again for the next map. After all, match is not over yet. This points lost, but not all is lost yet. You do get the 1 point first of all.
True.
And there's 3 more to get, so you can still get the green number out of this match here tonight if all works out. If the match is close, there's still all chance to turn this around.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Snakewater is a very different map as well. I do remember Garda did win that one as well against Wheelchair, but it was much closer. That was a much closer match. It went to Golden Cap, and Garda only managed to clinch it, well, in the very tail end of that Golden Cap as well. So we know they struggle a bit more with pushing last on Snake, and they already kind of struggled a bit with pushing last on Gully, right? So there's a cope for TLR there. If TLR are very good on Snakewater, this is easy points for them. they can easily bring this back and, live with a bit of a bruised eye, maybe, but for the most part, get out of it ahead of Garda here. That being said, you also got to make sure that you don't let the nerves get to you now, that you don't let the tilt set in from that, because I feel like everybody's going to be a bit bummed out about losing that.
I mean, when has a Flick team ever choked anything they should have won, It doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen. That's true.
So surely it won't happen twice in a row now as well.
I mean, look, at least they made it into Prem this time. Let's say it like that.
Well, they also didn't have to play the qualifier this time, so that's just that devastated. But yeah, Snakewater up next here. Maybe the change of pace will do them some good. We'll be playing out very differently, and I don't know. I don't really know what to expect out of this map with these two teams in specific. It wasn't a boring game at all just now, but Snakewater is one map that certainly can just change that very quickly if the pace of the game just allows for that. So we'll see. Maybe Garda has more time to snipe, I suppose. I guess they wouldn't be too upset about it.
Oh, we saw a ton of sniping out of Killsys and Menix, for that matter, on the qualifier game against Wheelchair. So I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
Killsys is warmed up with the sniper rifle. That man knows what he's doing. So not looking bad here on that front as well. We'll see what it's going to be in the end. And let me just double check that we are maybe changing server. I don't know.
Oh yeah, true. They might want to do that.
I didn't see anyone DC just yet, so maybe they got over themselves. Maybe the ping wasn't that bad actually.
maybe they realized that it wasn't.
I mean, they won the match, or they won the map, so it can't have been that bad, right?
I suppose.
Surely, maybe this is the magic server where they just win.
Turns out, maybe it was all just mental warfare. You know how these Bud teams are. You know how Garda are. They love the mental warfare. They love the little bit of psychological plays and stuff. That happens.
I don't know. This is already an uncharacteristic season for that team because they were the first one to schedule their game this week. So we're breaking new boundaries today.
Maybe something snapped and they're like taking it seriously. That would be crazy.
This is the gamer season.
I
don't remember. Did they make playoffs last time or did they get fifth? I don't remember. They might have gotten fourth. I'm not sure anymore. That was a close season down there.
Yeah, I'm not very sure. I know almost any time Garda is actually in Prem, they're always like just about contending for playoffs.
Yeah.
Like every time they're in Prem. So like they're already looking like a contender team right now, right? Because TLR is by no means a slouch either to go up against, even if it's they might take a few weeks to get used to each other because they're kind of cobbled together. Still, like they are looking like a good contender team already. And obviously, like, completely throwing aside the fact that Witness is probably going to sweep the season, the fights for, like, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place are going to be complete toss-ups, I feel.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of close games all around, I would imagine. And, I mean, that just means even further that if you get anything here tonight, that's just huge. And TLR needs to really step up their game right now to get anything out of this tonight, because these points will be badly missed in matchups that, while close, are certainly, as we've seen just now by how close it was, very much still in the realms of winnable. So they're going to be kicking themselves if they don't get anything out of this tonight.
Yeah, I mean, 1 point is certainly better than 0, but it's also, you don't, like, you could argue Garda would be a team that they shouldn't struggle against as much. Because they're going to have harder matchups going forward in the season outside of TLR. Garda obviously will as well, but still, right? Like, TLR, if they don't take points here, this is where they have a great chance to take them, so they're going to be really sad if they miss out on them.
It's also been a minute since we had like sponsor drops to people that weren't already at the top. Since we had like multiple over multiple teams with like big sponsor names to themselves. So I guess it was a long time over that the sponsor curse returns.
Yeah, that is true.
Where you get signed and then immediately oopsie, haha. Put it like next week.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna point it out, but there was one a couple of seasons ago, right? Where it was Venom Crest, right? Where they got into Prem and then they kind of like... And
it was the dumbest
got unlucky.
Game of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's the classic Yak, like, week 1 game. It's just like, who knows what's happening there in week 1 with Yak teams.
Either way, enough about hypotheticals and all that sort of stuff. Snakewater. What can we see out of these teams here? We know on Gullywash that TLR were very fast. Do you think they're still going to be as fast as they're headed into first mid play?
That's a tough one because, like, I don't know. It's like very much a toss up. I feel like with how teams want to play this one. The Snakewater mid fight is either you just go all in or you play super passive for like 2 minutes straight. Just sit back, and Matt gets the Uber during the mid fight at some point, and we'll see which option they prefer here. TLR once again in the blue, Garda in the red. We'll see who takes it on the second map. Oh, that's the answer.
Yeah, that's aggressive out of Garda immediately. Both soldiers going in deep, finding Patchouli immediately, but on the other side, just as much, Theos has been taken care of. So it is a bit of an aggressive mid out of both teams, and they're just trading out their soldiers and players here everywhere, and in the end, Garda comes out on top. Shappy, Mankey, and Manix managing to stay alive, managing to get that little mid cap, and there we go. They're going to be taking that to second straight away. Yeah, I was going to say that Garda love playing their passive mids actually on Snake as well. If they have to play their passive mids, they do it extremely well. They did it extremely well against Wheelchair. It worked well for them there. So if they're forced into having to play passively on mids, it could spell doom for TLR. For the time being, we're spelling doom for TLR anyway, as they have to lose their second here and go all the way back to the last. The Yusti dying is obviously going to slow them down, or even just thwart any sort of attempts in trying to maybe get a cheeky little sack or something onto second. And Garda are in a perfect position to try and take us into last if they so desire. Obviously, the Ubers are going to be equal, so it's not going to be free. It's not going to be a freebie. They have to work for it a bit, but dying to Sticky Trap is certainly going to put a bit of a wrench into their spokes and, yeah, well, force them out of lobby again, but still, it's going to be the last stalemate on Snakewater, and yeah, stop me if you've heard this one before. It happens a lot. Oh, flick on Sniper.
Well, he's hitting stuff, so that's already enough to keep them in check here a little bit, but you need much more than that to actually get out of last just now, and maybe letting them be in lobby actually is making things easier, as you can see.
Yeah, Mankey trying to maybe jump flick there, just gets juggled by the body shot. Very unfortunate, but he does live at the end of the day, and Flick has got that deep peek, man, but obviously Garda aren't going to peek any of those sidelines anymore, so he's going to have to give up, he's going to have to rotate, and Bud is trying to peek that lower ground a little bit. Now they're going to rotate to Shutter instead. If they can get there quickly enough, Flick wouldn't be able to lock it down, but now he has it locked down, and now, well, it's on Garda to try and bust into this last somehow. I can tell they're getting a little impatient. I feel like they're trying to just, guys, we just want to get in here, just make something happen, somebody take care of that sniper or something. But they are trying. They are trying to get their bearings here. Find anything. Maybe send in a soldier somehow. Catch off Zams, who's just out of sight here. Never mind. Mankey and Kills are both going to just get doinked by sentry rockets. Is that what happens?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
At the same time.
And all of that. Three down already, and all the way in, it looks like for the soldiers on blue as well. They want some damage, and Shappy isn't on the beam. That's an easy kill to get right there. And suddenly it's just Fierce on Bot, like hoping to stop enough time that once they do have to use here, the rest of the team is there to help them a little bit, but I don't know if they have that time.
No, they definitely don't. Ayossi is just there to force that Uber out. Now they have to try and make something happen with it, but trying to bomb in, settle for anything. Trades out for Zams. Good enough. That's all you've got. Mankey's there for the follow-up. Manages to get the force out of Patchouli. Crucial play, keeping his team alive here, because if he hadn't gotten that, there was no way Garda was going to be able to re-aggress here, or maybe, at least hold on to mid or something. With ISD trading out for Menix, Shappy getting taken down as well. Theo's dying as well. Never mind, it's looking like they probably have to go back to their own last at this point. Oh, yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. That repush may be a bit ambitious out of Garda. They underestimated positions for TLR. TLR capitalized on it phenomenally, and, well, now they're taking mid and probably rolling into second as well. Never mind. We got a bunch of forwards out of Garda, so they're going to be able to hold. Fair enough.
There we go. Maybe still a chance to keep the second point for a little bit longer here. Slow them down enough to get this to an Uber at last as well. Looks like it does slow them down significantly, but only at the cost of Bud trying to preemptively bomb them here a little bit. We'll go down for that as well. That probably doesn't spoil well for the second point, but we'll see how it goes for the rest of this. Medics also back with Sniper, hits the Snipe, a bit of damage being exchanged, he slows things down, but Mankey tries to double down, but Bud already failed, and not finding any more success after that either.
Yeah, they managed to trade out for Ayosti at the end of the day with these cheeky little stickies, but is that enough to stop these TLR players that are basically already trying to get into last? Well, for the time being it is. It does slow them down ever so slightly, but they do have to get their Uber ready if they want to have something to respond to TLR with here, and they will in time. That is not something I'm worried about. What I am worried about is going to be their positioning afterwards and whatever they're doing. They're going to try to get the sentry up. Going to try to see if they can get a defense mounted here before TLR gets something that they want to do here, but Ryan is in with a deep bomb, doesn't quite find the damage he wanted to Theos, but ultimately gets the force anyway. Theos sees the follow-up coming, he does not want to drop here, and they actually managed to get the force, the counter force out of Patchouli as well. It's going to be a bit of a longer Uber for TLR. They managed to grab some positioning off the back of it, but in the post-Uber fight, it's anybody's game. The soldiers missing on both sides, and, well, Garda do have, like, the respawn kind of advantage. They can just, well, hide in there if they so desire. They're gonna lose Bud though, which is gonna make it a bit harder, but with respawning as well, it's a damn mess. I used to try to go in deep. Flick gets taken down as well. Finally, Garda are cleaning up these players in the war of attrition. It's only Ryan left. He's hiding, well, he was trying to hide above the lower door. He's instead decided he might just go last. Ah, no, Mankey's still on last. He's looking. He's ready. He's ready for a cheeky little play, and yeah, Ryan is not gonna...
Ryan is also lagging out just now.
He might have just crashed, actually.
That's a bit awkward.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he would have probably gotten away with it anyway, but, yeah.
He tried at the very least.
Yeah, that was an attempt, I guess.
Either way, good for Garda, one less to worry about. They don't even have to think about the guy being behind them anymore. That problem has been solved pretty quickly here as they get to the mid, and probably further than that as well. The spawn will be there, assuming he's not, like, lagging out anymore, but even then they have the Uber, and they're gonna have to use it here. The damage is looking pretty good, but only at the cost of people being very forward with that position they have here, and I don't think they can really escape. Usually the one that did force goes down late, caught Zams a bit early as well, 2 down already. After that charge into second, can't be too upset to get forced if you actually get good results for it, because at this point, second point always capped. They have 5 on large, just gonna get past this heavy here somehow to get this thing started, and now they can actually force the heavy onto point as well if it really comes down to it.
Yeah, it's gonna, like, TLR have a prime position to hold this, but Flick gets focused down so quickly. Now they have to have Zam sticky up that point as best he can, and with all those players bunch up as well, and, well, no explosive classes out of Garda. They're not gonna be able to clean up that point whatsoever, so they're gonna have to back themselves out again. But, crucially as well, this is not too easy for TLR to push out on. They might try to take some grounds on lobby here, but Snakewater notoriously not that easy to push out of. They have to really cover their bases here, and they're gonna get forced very early as Patchouli goes down to a sliver of HP from a lot of stickies. So the fact that he lived there is actually a miracle, I'll be honest. But crucially enough for Garda, it means that they won't have to worry about getting pushed all the way back from mid. And the backup out of Mankey with the spike! No.
They never see it coming.
They will never see it coming.
He is too powerful. How can we stop him at this point? That just does it. It's so easy to get behind when no one knows who you're there to begin with.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about the soldier being seen. I guess you do still have to worry about lagging out on us, but that's besides the point. Yeah, it will work out this time around. Garda gets the cap. This is a lead, alright. Let's see how it goes from here. It was a long first round this time around, much less so than before on map 1, but that doesn't mean things can change here. Last time, Garda did go very aggressive for a bit, despite what you anticipated them to do, so they have a bit of a very playbook here. Let's see what option we're going for this time around. Looks like they have to play defensive a little bit here. The bomb's coming down early, do good damage as well. Demo down, a bit rough now.
Have demo down on both sides though, and actually just equal players traded on both sides. It's just scouts and medics alive for both of these, and well, it's basically down to whether Killsys and medics can beat Corey and Flick here on this point fight. Either way, there's a lot of cap time for TL already, and it looks like these Garda scouts are indeed winning this. Corey's trying his absolute best to keep his medic alive, getting them out of here, and well, manages to do that. So Pachu's gonna hang on to that Uber, and the point may very well at least get some cap time for Garda, but they won't be able to get away with that for free. There's almost certainly going to be re-aggression out of the side of TLR, right? Surely. Actually, no, they're gonna bite their time. All right, they're just gonna wait on second. They respect Garda. Fair enough.
Let's see how that works out for them here as well. It gives them a lot of space at the flank side here. It does end with double bombing in early, but it's just kind of a big exchange. Everyone diving deep into cheese and trading left and right. They haven't given up on the Garda yet. They did get 2 kills after all. Might as well keep going here. It's not like they're down on numbers just now. Sent Uber deep early. However, much later Uber Patchouli here as well. And Mankey caught late in it as well. They have to get a long way out of here, but I don't think they can manage. Sticky's behind them. Scout up top. Just a really rough position to be in. Menix trying his hardest, but it's just not enough in the end.
Yeah, Menix just couldn't quite get Theos out in time, and once you get caught between a scout and a demo man, it's over for you for Theos there. So he's gonna get caught in the post-Uber fight, and that's gonna give Patchouli a small advantage to work with, and more importantly, because of the lack of heals and all that stuff, TLR gonna retake mid here. And Garda, well, they don't want to necessarily give it up for free. Mankey's in deep and fast, and he's seeing if he can get that damage to Patchouli. Gets a lot of it, actually. There's nobody there to quite follow it up with, so unfortunately, Patchouli's just gonna live and carry on with his life as usual, as normal. And yeah, it looks like TLR are going to keep trying to pull this into second as best they can, but trying to maybe thwart them a little bit, but Shappy finds Ryan. So that will probably maybe slow TLR down a little bit. There's still like no position to really defend outside of Garda at all. They're already in lobby, just running away, but it's a lot of damage and dies as well. Oh, it's not going great here for Garda. They might have an Uber in time to respond to this one out of Patchouli, but yeah, they're gonna have to hold on to last. That's what they're doing.
Surprised no one's like deep in there already to see if they can get a force here, actually, surprisingly. They're having everyone wait a little bit longer here to actually get something started. Settle with the stalemate instead. Maybe a little bit awkward here for them now to break through the rest of this, but they're still trying. Zam's taking a lot of space on the left side here. There's a high bomb coming through as well. But past the gun, I don't think that's happening. Forcing some people back. They're taking space slowly but surely, but is that going to be enough at this rate with the hold still just standing strong for the time being?
Ryan going in high and deep, just trying to see if he can get any sort of damage down. Flick getting a lot of captain on points, going to pull players onto there as well. Now it's going to be down to how much splash TLR can put out here, and unfortunately it looks like it is not enough against that heavy. Kills is just getting buffed up. Mankey already being aggressive as well, trying to see if he can catch somebody off, but no. And no Ubers were exchanged just yet either, so yeah, Garda can just reassemble their defenses, and we can just see another push attempt out of TLR right afterwards, especially considering Mankey is still spawning. If they move fast enough, he might not even be in position in time, if they so desire. That being said, that's not going to happen. They're just going to bide their time. It looks like Mankey's just spy checking. Okay, he's just checking for off classes. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him commit to the spy play as well. Ryan goes hard.
No,
once
he doesn't
more.
I like how he saw the gun and just tried to not land in its range here as well, but it's just so much fun. Like sitting in the air, there's a tough time for everyone else to deal with that, and he's dead. Time's running out slowly but surely. There's still plenty left in theory, but I don't know. We've seen plenty of Snakewater games where it just hasn't really mattered.
It's a tough one there for Ryan as well, because not just the gun was, you know, stopping him. He had a heavy gun in him down as well, and by the time he actually decided to leave, he landed right on top of a minefield. So it just didn't quite work out for him. But it looks like Mankey, he's still just checking. Okay, I was like, does he finally committed? No, it is actually Menix who's going to be off-classing for Garda here on the defensive sniper, and Patchouli ate a lot of damage. It's just some spam, huh? He's alive for now. Never mind. I jinxed that. Okay, Menix just hits those, huh? I was not expecting him to get that sightline and just hit that shot immediately, so that's gonna be amazing for Garda here. Oh my god. That is gonna keep rolling that Uber in, and
Fios dies to that?
Didn't actually get anything with it? What happened?
Just lost track of the zone he was shooting because he shot him like across the entire room. He didn't see him anymore.
Oh man, that's a damn shame. Well, at least he had used his Uber before he died, so I suppose it's not.
I'd argue it was. Patchouli spawns now, they have massive ad. However, as awkward as it now, they switch to crit streak to have something up in time. Now they just want crit streak from here out.
Well. I like me some of that. I like me some of that. We'll see if that actually turns it around for them. Because, believe it or not, TLR is still down around. It's been half of the map time already. They still haven't managed to convert around on Snakewater just yet, and they've been trying. They find a couple of opening frags onto the scouts of Garda here, which is going to open things up for them quite well. Theo's getting taken down as well, so crucial, even if they were going to get an Uber out of the side of Garda to try to respond to Chris Wolf, which was already a long shot against the crits. Now they have one player alive in the side of Mankey, and he's just kind of decided, yeah, this is going to be a tough one to hold by myself, so I think this might be a converted run for TLR, unless Kilsis can pull out the damn miracle here, which is not going to happen, so there you go. 1-all, 16 minutes left.
Long round as well. Corey somehow had time to get a 10k in the middle of that as well. Just casually here, so, you know, doing well on that Prem debut stats, I suppose, already. Gotta get on people's minds for that one early, I suppose, here, as we head halfway through the game. We have a tied-up game once again as well. Anyone can still take this here as we head into the second half of the match now. And, I mean, not surprisingly as well, with the first one being as close as it was, this one's still delivering.
Yeah, they're keeping up with the close matches so far. Big high bombs out of Garda early. They're going to make the first move, land on top of Zams, and Corey take them down, as well as ISD, Ryan, and Patchouli. Apparently, they're just finding all the aggression onto all of these TLR players. Literally, nobody on Garda even felt endangered throughout that entire mid-fight. Unbelievably done. Beautifully done. They're going to convert this into a last push as fast as they possibly can. They haven't even capped second yet, and there's already 5 players on last. They have full belief in the fact that Kilsis is going to be able to cap this midpoint at his second point before they have to worry about these players coming out of spawn. That being
spawn camp then. It can't be that hard.
Yeah, they're not really spawn camping, are they? They really should have committed more to
fine.
that now.
It's fine. I guess you could probably just sit back, not risk your medic being in the sniper sideline at the end as well. Maybe the right choice here in the end. Gives them a bit of space to build a gun, but it's barely going to be any at all at this point. So push comes in, guns level 1, medics off the beam, it's lead eyes. No, but off the beam as well. The flashes are not where they need to be with Fios. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. He's disconnected as well from his entire team. He cannot get out. He gets caught. This is a disastrous push for Garda. They can't even salvage anything out of this. They found a single frag onto Ryan, and that's all they got. Patchouli has crits ready as well now, so if Garda aren't careful and they're not ready for these crits, it's gonna just get worse for them. Shappy trying to be cute there.
How did he get to you without thinking to put up a city trap first?
Yeah, I don't really know. I guess he was just trying to be cute. Maybe he's just a bit scrambled right now. You know, they got a bit mind flooded by that disastrous push. They gotta keep their head in the game, though. They know they gotta be aggressive against these crits. That's a good way to shut them down if they can catch them instead of getting caught. But they find a frag onto Bud with that crits, and that's about it for the time being. It finds nothing else, effectively. It was a zoning crits. And now in the post-super fight, it might look like it's gonna go the way of Garda. They find the frag onto Patchouli, so no heals for TLR, but they also gotta keep their own combo safe. Slowly but surely, it's getting whittled away. There goes Shappy, traded out for Flick. Effectively, it's only Killsis and Theos, and, well, the two of them are not very connected right now. Hate to say it, Killsis is gonna get mulched by the Ryan-Corey combo, and it's gonna be TLR taking the mid back.
That was a very awkward sequence of events, but I mean, TLR comes out on top, kind of. It's debatable even then, right? With the Matt dying, what we did here with the crit squeak. I don't know, I feel like the instinctual, like, dis-ad crits they want to have on us just kind of backfired more than they had at this point from TLR, but they haven't lost the game yet, so it might not really matter that much, I suppose, as long as they can somehow stunt whatever's coming into mid here just now. The butt bomb leading the charge goes about not well at all here, actually. Second bomb by Ryan on the other side. Tries to get to the medic. They're not succeeding. They're doubling down big time on that one, though. They want to see this medic use, and they will eventually get there. So they got what they wanted, but is it going to be all fine in the end? They have 2 people down. They still have to worry a little bit.
I mean, they're going to be able to rest easy knowing that Garda are going to have to cap mid here. They're going to be slowed down by that for a little bit as well. And they do still... Oh, no, actually, but we picked up a minigun again. Okay, so they do know that they have an ad now. They do know they just have something to work with. They are going to be able to maybe try and rush this in and catch off some Garda players, but Garda are aware. They know they're going to be at a disad here. They're very far back. Absolutely nobody really wanted to commit too much. Killsis is the only one even still in kitchen. It's only Flick and Patchouli slowly inching their way into mid as well. Killsis gets caught, so he's not going to be able to do anything, and Bud has decided that he's also going to escape instead of adding another death to his oh-so-desired death counter on the logs. So they're just going to be back out to second. They've been building like champions, mind you. They already have an Uber ready again, so that was almost nothing to write home about TLR. It got them the mid for free, but now they have to fight for second, and they've got 2 soldiers going in deep behind, but if Theos can surf well enough here, or at least pop at roughly the same time as Patchouli does, they're going to be in a good position here, because now 3 players have died for TLR.
Yeah, so quick it can go sometimes here, and with only 3 more left, it's not just going to be second point secure, it's going to be midpoint taken most likely. They have a disconnect from another as well. Flick all without any backup there as well. Luckily they didn't find Patchouli alone and choked her for a second. That would have been even worse here. It gets to finally reconnect with the rest of the team, but that is still not 6 players. There's only 4 alive right now. Gotta take your chance here while it's still alive, but are they still alive? They're taking a beating right now, trying to rush this into second, and it looks like the attempt to just play quick of whatever little advantage they have here gets quickly countered by TLR, just not backing off at all.
No, they were not giving that one up. I think the morale opener for that one was Mankey getting nailed to the top of that tower on second by an arrow for Patchouli. That is truly a shot for the ages. I'm sad it wasn't caught on camera, but it was a beautiful one. And they're just going to keep that momentum going forward. Mankey is spun up as a heavy in the forward spawn. Nobody's checked yet. He's going to try to waltz out, but immediately realizes that's not going to happen. They're staring me down. And TLR are looking great here. They have such a good position to try and push this into last and actually take around here. Finally take the lead.
Get sniped.
Yeah, just don't get sniped. Finally take the lead. They pop early. They are ready for that sniper. Killsis is not going to be able to get anybody caught off guard here. They're going to get a bit of cap time as well, but there's still stickies on the point, so they're going to have a hard time actually getting any more out of it. And the spawners, the rotators out of the spawn come around. It's still equal numbers. Never mind, it's slowly going the way of TLR. They find so much cap time. Medics can't block it all by himself. And Theos is the last to try and hold it, but he won't be able to either. 2-1 up for TLR now, with 10 minutes left on the clock. Still possible, very much so, for Garda to come back into this, but they have to pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, it's TLR has been in this position before, I think, right? So we've seen Garda manage to do this, but things were very different. Gullywash, the mid-fights have slowly started to go into TLR's favor as well, I believe. So it's going to be a difficult one here right now as the first bit of damage is being exchanged on this next round here. 10 more minutes to go, certainly plenty of time to still make this happen. Slow start this time around. No one suddenly wants to dare go deep anymore right away here. We're feeding our opponents out a little bit, see if we can find someone out of position, maybe get someone weak early with spam and then commit off that as well here. High ground very empty for the longest time here as well. Neither team wants to take much of a risk at all, but then we got to see Butt step forward a little bit, focus him down a little bit, and with that they've been opening on a medic as well, just when everyone's looking up in the high ground, but it's not enough. Sure, they get the medic, but 3 go down instantly for 2.
The counter aggression out of Garda, they were ready. They were this is the passive mid I was talking about. They were waiting for those bombs to come in. They are perfectly fine with losing Theos and maybe even not getting Patchouli here, because the counter aggression comes across the point instantly. As soon as those soldiers are out of the equation, they're just like, well, they're dead meat now. We'll kill them in a second. We'll just take care of the combo in front of us that has been left without enough damage to deal with the onslaught we're going to bring them. And it worked well for them on this mid fight. Unfortunately, Theos did die, and Patchouli does have an Uber, so how long is this going to continue for them is a completely different story, because even if they cap second now, they're going to have a hard time hanging on to it unless they manage to bring out some miracle plays. And the fact that, honestly, Killsis and Shappy get out of there alive is already one of those miracles.
I mean, you take what you can get, I suppose, here. Yeah. Garda hanging onto the midpoint for the time being here, but with this ad still in mind, it's going to be awkward to keep this. I mean, if you find a miracle hold on this somehow, waste a bunch of time on this, maybe you can keep this alive, but getting difficult. Even with Corey dying, you still have to wait for quite a while to get this Uber up and running first, and time is just not what you really have at this point. Ryan gets a kill as well, and it's just running out of resources here before anything else. However, wait a second.
Ooh, Sam's is a crucial pick. That's a crucial pick to find here when you're trying to push in. Now the Ubers are equal, and Garda are in a great position here. They are only down a player overall, so to say, in this exchange, and if they can get their soldiers to do a little bit of damage, which, well, finding Flick is certainly going to open things up a little bit. Patchouli just drops him out of his Uber. Matter of fact, Theos is in no position to even have to pop. None of his players are dying. He's in absolutely no pressure whatsoever. Bro can just keep holding onto that Uber, and Garda can take us into last. If they can convert this push, we're immediately back to a tie game. There comes the Uber. They cap second. They get a lot of cap time on last immediately. There's nobody even there to block the point. IST tried his best, but couldn't do it, and there you go. Just like that. They managed to tie it up once more.
It might just be coming back together again here. We've been in this position before, and we all know how it went last time, so let's see if they want to hold us hostage until past 11 o'clock tonight, or if they want to wrap this up before midnight EST, I suppose, here for at least some of them, I suppose.
Yeah, that is very true. It is getting quite late if they're going to go to the second golden cap. We're going to be looking at a long game on our hands. Right now, we're certainly primed for that. A big soldier aggression again immediately out of the TLR soldiers here. They managed to get onto Theos, and they managed to get that frag. The counter aggression by Garda has come across the point as well. They dealt a little bit better with it this time out of TLR, but not well enough. It's only Corey and Flick left alive. And, well, they're in not a great position. I think on DM alone, even if Flick is an MGE gremlin, you're gonna have a hard time going up against 4 other players here. Eventually, they're just gonna whittle you down. And there you go. Garda's gonna win another mid.
There we go. We get them back into the swing of things here. Maybe it's not too late to not just get back just to a tie, but also get the lead and run away with it before the golden cap even has to be played right now. Problem is, Uber situation, right? As per usual in close fights like this on mid. Just won't convert that quickly from here anymore. We'll have to go probably the long distance now as well. 6 minutes left to go. Is there plenty of time, I suppose, to break the stalemate here, but we spent like the least amount of time in the mid-second stalemate this game. I feel like we've been on last a while, and the transitions have happened between mid and second, but they've also been pretty quick, so I don't know if TLR can just hold them hostage on this point for as long as they need to at this rate.
I mean, if you really want to take it to another golden cap, doing it with 6 minutes left on the clock is ambitious anyway, because you're getting another round reset regardless, right? So yeah, you really gotta at least like waste a lot of time, maybe push once more and actually succeed and all that stuff. It's gonna be very tough to just stall for that long, but he's not gonna have any of it. He's gonna try to at least add another def to his def counter, as he likes to do, as he's known to do. It's a tactical sack, okay? They're gonna bait one out of the side of TLR now and almost lose Mankey for it as well, as there's a lot of aggression coming out of TLR, actually. They're very far forward here in lobby. Mankey trying to maybe catch somebody out on catwalk, finally decides to bomb out, and they got Force in the meantime. Ryan just kind of slipped in behind and got that Force out of Theos, so yeah, that's it's not good for Garda. I'll say the least. But at the very least, looks like Patchouli got forced as well, so in the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
Alright, big bomb by Mankey, doesn't do much in the end though, and they still have to worry about Fuse being weak as well on their part here. Big bomb on the second part now, Bud wants to follow up, but can't quite catch Patchouli in the end as well. Both soldiers just falling flat here at the end on the side of Garda. Point back to TLR as well. Uber still not really there for either side here, so might just keep rolling this forward with no soldiers to worry about on the blue side. Just gotta make sure you get in here past the stickies. I suppose no one else will really be holding close anymore.
Yeah, they don't want to catch the smoker. They're perfectly fine with just getting out to last and waiting. Now that we're below the 5-minute mark, if Garda want to be this type of team, they can take it to another golden cap here. It's happened before, it can happen again, and they don't even have an Uber on the side of TLR yet. This is a very ambitious last push. They got to get Theos forced early here, but unfortunately they didn't keep Patchouli safe, and now they're all dead. Everyone is dead except for Corey, and I don't think the Soul Fin can make much happen here. Theos is nowhere near his sights, and now he's going to deal with 3 players, so there you go. That went about as badly as it could, because I'm pretty sure Patchouli was like very close to Uber, wasn't he? He was like 98 or something.
To begin with, but unfortunately bluffing this time around, going in early, did not quite go as intended, and now TLR has all the chance in the world to get something started here, or at very least, you know, get themselves in a position where they can. After all, he still has advantage from here as well, so Garda not in a bad spot at the end of the day here, still fighting for the midpoint. TLR doesn't want to give this up, even with the Uber threat coming up for Garda any moment now. It's looking pretty dire to keep this point, and they might have already fallen far enough back to just have to call it quits here, but I don't know, Bud tries to go behind, gets spotted very early, so they get this kill very quickly as well, but all of blue is so weak. There we go, yeah, first few kills starting to come in here. Flick doesn't have any beam on him as well. They get the force out of this, that's good news, but if anyone else dies, it's gonna still be pretty bad at the end of the day.
Oh, that might be Patchouli, yeah, he's gonna be the one to die. The Samurai has spoken. His code has been fulfilled. He manages to find that frag. Unfortunately, Theos dies as well, but it is still an entire team versus a Soul Scout once more. Corey being a survivalist right now, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to do much all the way behind, except for maybe be a bit of a distraction, catch off some forward spawners or something. At the very least, he can maybe he can get Theos here. If Theos doesn't have anybody coming to him at spawn, and now he's kind of just locked in there for a second before Killsys can finally meet with him, that's actually... Somehow this actually worked out. Corey bought his team a little bit of time here by keeping Theos locked in spawn for a little bit longer.
Oh, Flick.
Oh, no.
Oh, he just face first into that sticky trap.
Flick moment.
Alright, well, Corey has finally been spotted. Not really taken care of just yet, but at least they know what to look for the scout, if nothing else. Makes it a little bit easier. However, people just keep dying to sticky traps today. Mankey, next one to fall here on the flip side. Awkward solo exchange in lobby as well. Everyone wants to take lobby as quick as they can, but obviously only one can take the win on that one. Garda seems to be taking control of the situation here a little bit. There's only 4 on us right now, you need to keep in mind here as well. They do want to make a rush for it. The backup threat is there on second, but you can maybe sneak something away. But looks like we're not being that ambitious just yet, not with enough time to still lose on the return push, basically.
We are getting a Mankey stuff. How is Corey still alive, by the way? I just came back, like I was free camming around, you know, just having a look at like what Holt they're doing and stuff. I come back to it, Corey is still alive, finally taken care of. Because I just came back and I was like, oh, Mankey's on Sniper, that's curious. What the hell was going on back there? They finally cleaned that up. They finally managed to mount themselves a push here. It bought TLR enough time to get their defense set up though, and even if they're going to be a player down for this last push, okay, well, Zam's dying is actually quite crucial, even if this post-Uber fight is not that great for Garda right away, because their Uber is going to fade so much sooner. They're going to come back into this, have no stickies to worry about. They're only missing a soldier on their side. If they can focus down Flick or just keep him off the point, they might have a great chance to convert another round here. They got a lot of cap time already. They just got to convert a little bit more in terms of damage here, and they are finding it. They are finding the frags, and they are going to convert another round, make it 3-2. Winnable.
It's 1:10 left on the clock here. How much time is it once the round actually starts here? 1:05? Oh god, this is... I hate to say it, but doable.
It is doable for TLR.
This needs to be the fattest round of all time, though.
It needs to be extremely fast.
If they win this, they need to rebrand from TLR to CDM.
Flick has to two-shot every enemy player on this mid-fight. It's the only way. I don't know how he's gonna have 12 shots in his clip, but he's gotta make it happen somehow. Otherwise, this is over for TLR. They're going home with 1 point, and Garda are going home with 5. So this mid-fight is gonna be the one to decide it all, and Garda have decided we're just not even gonna really fight it much, because we know if we don't all die, we are winning. And that's basically what's happening here. Like, yeah, TLR are moving. They know they gotta move. They're leaving Corey behind. They're moving forward, but we're into We're just into garbage time. They got the crits as well. They're trying.
Trying the hardest,
I believe.
The captain on second is wasting too much time at this rate.
Yeah, no, it's not happening.
And now feels that Uber as well. So the safety has been acquired. 8 seconds left. You pop 1 point, you win the game. There we go. Uber comes out just to make sure of that, and it looks like they're not even getting second one time here. So Garda Panteri clutching out their week 1 official here. Incredibly close game, but someone had to win it. Garda takes 5 points, like you said. Big points to get the season. Will be a very close race towards the top for all of them, I would imagine. And you are very happy to have these.
Oh, absolutely. Garda showing up. They had to go through the qualifier, and TLR didn't. And yet, maybe TLR should have. Turns out that Garda coming in swinging this first little week of Prem, and they're snatching themselves some very crucial points here. Actually, that would have been probably a lot harder to get off of other teams.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to matter by the end of it. I'm incredibly sure of that already here. Maybe the 1 point will help in the end as well, and this, Garda starts using everything at this point, I guess. It will still help, I suppose, because after this, I don't know, Garda can certainly still win a lot of other games, I would imagine, this season.
If they're performing like they did tonight, it's certainly possible, yeah. Absolutely.
Will be very interesting to see how they develop from here as well. With a couple of Prem debuts as well, I guess, on both teams, right? Here and there. So interesting to see how these new rosters perform this season right away here, and I guess what maps we're seeing as well in the future, right? Pick bands always make this very interesting. What maps people actually want to go for, I suppose. Very curious. I haven't checked it. What map is? What season is actually what week? Sorry, is the double cough week as well, where that could happen technically. I don't think it happened in Prem, but I think it happened in the one last season once. Well, I don't know if anyone's bold enough for that.
Lord knows if they want that. I mean, it looks like, is there a double cough week? Let me check real quick. Yes, week 7 is a double cough week. And week 5.
Ah, that's like last season, okay, fair.
Yeah, both of them have 2 cough maps available. So, week 5 and 7.
Who knows? Maybe people just bust them out when they really need to.
Implications.
For now, Garda not looking bad on both of these maps. So, I mean, Gullywash was a little bit more dicey in the end. I think this one looked not much confident either, I guess, in return, but able to have some decent showing for it at the very least. So we'll see. These points will certainly matter, and TLR has to go back to the drawing board. Like I said, rare to see the sponsor curse strike in TF2, but every once in a while, disaster just comes exactly like that.
To be fair, if you want to cope for all your TLR heads out there, if you want to cope, the team was mixed together a bit, right? They haven't played in this exact permutation. They just barely dodged having to qualify. So, yeah.
Surely next week they're going to win a close map like this. It's going to be great.
Maybe. Lord knows what their next matchup is.
I can't check quickly. The website's still broken, so I won't even care at all to track right now. I guess until the website's fixed again, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm going to just yell at Supra, Jack. I don't know who does it these days.
Week 2. Oh, TLR's week 2 matches against Frenchies.
It won't be easy either.
That won't be an easy one.
Neither was this going to be, so I guess there's no winning there, really.
Oh, well, Garda goes up against Witness next week, so...
It's just going to be hard games either way, I think. It's like just a very competitive season for the most part here. I guess we'll see, and we'll just catch you next week, I suppose, back on Team Fortress TV.
That's it from us. See ya.